Right now, as you read these words, something is already shifting. Not in some distant future when you finally figure it all out, but here, in this exact moment. The version of you that clicked on this video is not the same one who will finish watching it. That's not motivation speaking. That's quantum mechanics. And the fascinating part? Your old self doesn't just fade away gradually over time. It collapses, instantly. The moment you observe yourself differently, a new reality locks into place. Most people live their entire lives as one frozen photograph, one collapsed state they keep recreating every morning without realizing they had a choice. They wake up as yesterday's person, think yesterday's thoughts, feel yesterday's emotions, and call it identity. But here's what they don't understand. You're not meant to be a single, fixed version. You're designed to exist as infinite potential, where every expression of who you could become is available simultaneously, waiting for your conscious attention to select it into form. This isn't philosophy. This is the fundamental nature of reality itself, proven in laboratories around the world. When scientists observe a quantum particle, it instantly selects one definite position from infinite possibilities. Before observation, it exists everywhere at once, in what physicists call superposition. Your consciousness works the exact same way. You contain multitudes. The peaceful you, the confident you, the creative you, the abundant you, all existing right now in the field of what's possible. The only question is, which one are you calling forward with your awareness? Think about it. Every single morning before your eyes open, there's a sacred gap, a moment of pure potential before memory floods back in, before you remember your name, your problems, your limitations, your story. In that gap, you're completely free. But what do most people do? They immediately collapse back into the familiar. They reach for the phone, recall yesterday's stress, and within seconds, they've chosen the same frequency they've been broadcasting for years. The body recognizes this pattern, releases the same chemicals, activates the same neural pathways, and just like that, you've become who you were instead of who you could be. The quality of your awareness determines everything. When you look at yourself through the filter of past failures, your nervous system recreates those same biological conditions. Same stress response, same shallow breathing, same tension in your shoulders, same grip of doubt in your chest. Why? Because your body is taking instructions from your observation. You're not passively witnessing your life. You're actively collapsing it into form with every glance, every thought, every feeling. Here's where it gets powerful. The double-slit experiment showed us that when a particle is watched, the wave of possibility collapses into a single point. No observation, infinite potential. Observation appears, reality selects. Your life operates on this exact principle. Everything stays fluid, stays open, stays available until your consciousness makes a choice. And you're making that choice hundreds of times per day without even knowing it. Each time you think a familiar thought, you're conducting a measurement. Each time you feel a known emotion, you're issuing a command to the quantum field. Which version of reality shall I experience today? The one where I'm stuck, or the one where I'm expanding? Let me show you how this works practically. Before you open your eyes tomorrow morning, there exists a thin slice of time where identity hasn't yet formed. Names haven't returned, roles haven't reassembled. The weight of what happened yesterday hasn't landed yet. That's the space between waves and particles, between potential and form. If you can catch that moment, If you can pause there and consciously guide your system into a full breath, softening your jaw, releasing your shoulders, lengthening your exhale, you're doing something extraordinary. You're changing the point from which observation occurs. Your biology then starts synchronizing with a completely different emotional template. You don't need elaborate visualizations or complicated techniques. Just sense the posture of your highest self. How does that version breathe? Slower, more deeply. How do those shoulders sit? More open, less defended. How does that heart feel? More grounded, less frantic. When you inhabit the body of that frequency, instead of arguing with thoughts about it, you pull your entire nervous system out of its old trajectory. That shift alone creates a new collapse point. Here's the truth most people miss. You are simultaneously the one observing and the one being observed. You're both the cause and the effect inside the same system. You don't stand outside your life judging it from a distance. You create your life by observing it at a specific frequency. When you change that frequency, reality has no choice but to reorganize itself around the new signal you're transmitting. If this resonates with you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue exploring these consciousness principles together. The real question isn't why your circumstances keep repeating. The real question is, at what frequency are you observing yourself? The frequency of scarcity constricts your choices. The frequency of defensiveness shuts down conversations before they begin. The frequency of appreciation opens pathways that were invisible a moment ago. When you adjust frequency, you're not pretending problems don't exist. You're changing the format in which reality gets translated through your nervous system. From there, your actions shift. Your responses transform. Your outcomes reorganize. Your body carries chemical history, that's true. But that history is malleable. Your nervous system has well-worn pathways, yes. But those pathways can be rewired if you change where you step. The practice at this level isn't about forcing yourself to become someone foreign. It's about remembering your original role, the chooser, the one with agency, the one with power. Before you answer a call, before you write an email, before an emotional wave hits, there's always a micro-pause. Most people never notice it because it's so brief. But that pause is where your freedom lives. If you fill it with automatic reflexes, you collapse into yesterday's identity without choosing. But if you let it expand with one conscious breath and a quiet internal question, like, how would my most aligned self respond here? You've already switched tracks. The external event might stay the same, but you've changed who's driving. Superposition doesn't require one permanent choice. It gives you permission to choose again and again, moment by moment, hour by hour, conversation by conversation. Each choice is like pressing a button that switches channels. Each return to breath is a recalibration signal. Each time you place your hand over your heart and adjust your posture, you're sending a message to your biology. Today's dominant frequency is stability and openness, not chaos and contraction. Don't chase dramatic emotional peaks. Seek steady states. Because stability is the foundation that every lasting transformation is built upon. When the water is calm, reflections become clear. When your body is calm, your mind becomes lucid. And when your mind is lucid, your choices align with truth. Some will say the world is too intense, that circumstances don't allow for choice. But pressure never removes your power to choose. It only shortens the pause between stimulus and response. That's exactly why we train this. When you strengthen your attention muscle, you stretch that pause. You create space where there seemed to be none. You find freedom in the gap. That pause, that space, that's your gateway back into superposition. There, you stop being pure momentum. You begin seeing that even in identical situations, multiple intelligent responses exist. The difference is simply which self you bring to the moment. The reactive one or the responsive one, the frightened one or the centered one, the one who needs external validation or the one who already knows their worth. Whichever you select, your energetic field broadcasts that signature, and corresponding experiences arrange themselves around you. Habits aren't built from one big decision. They're built from thousands of micro-choices. So one single day filled with aligned micro-choices already bends your trajectory toward a new destination. The core isn't in wishful affirmations repeated without belief. It's in the subtle command of posture and breath. When your body shifts, the signals traveling back to your brain shift. When those signals shift, your emotional circuitry reorganizes. When emotions reorganize, thoughts naturally clarify themselves. You don't have to force positive thinking. You create biological conditions where clear thinking arises naturally. That's the precise path. That's the sustainable method. Instead of piling effort on top of willpower, you build a foundation for a new collapse through your physical form, through rhythm, through gentle consistency. From that foundation, choices flow smoothly, not as battles, as natural shifts. Try this tomorrow morning, the instant awareness returns. Don't reach for your phone. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Breathe in deeply through your nose. Breathe out slightly longer through your mouth. Repeat 3 times. Then call forward the feeling, not the image, but the felt sense of the version you want to embody today. Don't use words. Just sense the quality of your body, the weight, the openness in your chest, the rhythm of your breath, the softness of your gaze. Then stand as that person. Place your feet on the ground as that person. Take your first steps as that person. The opening minutes of your morning hold enormous leverage. When you align correctly at the start, the entire day flows with more ease. Throughout the day, when you drift, and you will drift, simply return to that breath and posture. Press the reset button back to superposition. Choose again and again. By nightfall, you'll notice you've become a slightly different version of yourself. One that opens different conversations, makes different decisions, attracts different opportunities. Don't wait for inspiration before choosing. Choose first, and inspiration follows. Don't wait for circumstances to shift before choosing. Choose, and circumstances rearrange themselves to match. Superposition is your birthright. Observation is your instrument. The body is your anchor. And every single day is a sacred experiment where you watch reality unfold according to the frequency you've consciously selected for yourself. Step into today as someone who remembers, not someone searching for miracles in the external world, but someone walking as the miracle that's already present in every breath, every step, every moment of awareness. When you live from this understanding, life stops being an unconscious loop of repetition. It becomes conscious creation, a symphony where you are the conductor, the awakened observer, the intentional chooser, the one who lives with full presence. Every morning when awareness returns, a new universe is born inside your mind. Yet instead of stepping into freedom, most people slide back into the same worn path. replaying identical thoughts, identical emotions, identical reactions that have hardened into personality. This is quantum collapse happening so fast, you don't even notice it. You wake in superposition, in infinite potential, but within moments you observe yourself as yesterday's identity, the one carrying old burdens and future anxieties. And just like that, reality folds back into the pattern it knows. That cycle repeats like a song your brain has memorized. You don't have to intentionally think about the past. Your body and nervous system replay it automatically for you. Through millions of years of evolution, this mechanism kept humans alive by predicting and repeating responses that once meant survival. But in the realm of conscious evolution, it has become the very chain preventing you from experiencing anything new. Notice your mornings closely. What's the first feeling when your eyes open? Peace or subtle tension? Just one fleeting thought about what needs doing, and your body releases stress compounds, your heart rate shifts, your breathing becomes shallow, and you've collapsed again into yesterday's frequency. The issue isn't your circumstances, it's this automatic process. Because your body remembers more than your mind. It holds the energetic record of your entire existence. Without conscious intervention, it can only recreate what's familiar. Physicists studying the double slit experiment discovered that matter behaves as a wave until observed. The moment an observer's attention appears, the particle chooses a definite state. Life functions identically. When you start thinking of yourself as tired, as anxious, as struggling, reality collapses into that matching state. You do this every day without awareness. Not once, hundreds of times. Every familiar thought, every repeated emotion is a collapse into a specific version of yourself. And here's the remarkable part. All of this happens before you consciously choose. Your body has already chosen for you because it remembers, because it's loyal to old patterns, because it fears the unknown. So even if you dream of freedom or joy, if your body hasn't learned safety in those states, it will constantly pull you back. Many people attempt to change through effort. They read more books, set new goals, repeat positive affirmations. But nobody told them that before thought even arises, the body has already made a decision. It has pre-programmed the feeling that the mind will then follow. When you understand this, you finally see why transformation feels so difficult. You're not only facing mental habits, you're facing biological memory. Thousands of cells that remember how you've lived, feared, responded. And they're more loyal to that memory than you are to your dreams. That's why true awakening doesn't happen when you think a new thought. It happens when you witness the old cycle starting without participating in it. Simply observing. Your power lives in awareness of that starting point. The exact moment your nervous system begins playing the old film, and you can pause. Not with tense willpower, with the stillness of someone who knows. Imagine listening to a song and suddenly realizing it's the same one playing again. You don't need to destroy the speakers. Just lower the volume, slow your breath, feel air entering your lungs, feel your heartbeat calming. And just like that, you've created a break in the pattern. In that quiet gap, room opens for a new choice to emerge. I'm curious, have you noticed a specific pattern in your life that keeps repeating? And what's one small shift you're willing to make to interrupt it? Share in the comments below. Many believe change requires grand gestures, but in truth, it begins with recognizing the moment of collapse. Only when you see yourself returning to the old identity can you decide to stop? If you don't notice, you'll live unconsciously while calling it freedom. The body isn't your enemy. It's simply protecting what it knows. So instead of fighting it, teach it that new safety exists in peace, not in anxiety, in openness, not in control. When each morning you take a few minutes to breathe and feel your body before remembering who you are, you're sending a new signal. Teaching your nervous system that calm can also mean safe, that survival no longer requires tension. Repeat this for a few weeks, and your body relearns. Then you'll begin noticing that reality around you transforms too, because your frequency of transmission has shifted. The greatest trap is believing willpower alone is enough. Will cannot override automation without awareness. You cannot defeat instinct through force. Only transform it through refined attention. When you learn to observe a pattern activating, you become the conductor instead of the performer. No longer waking up as a character in a pre-written script. Each morning is a quantum experiment. You can collapse into yesterday's identity or into your emerging self. React as you did before or remain silent and let new frequency take form. Change begins in that first moment of awareness where you stop assuming you must be the person from yesterday. You begin seeing that everything you've called I is only the result of repetition. And when repetition stops, space opens for another version to enter. From that point forward, you no longer force change. You simply stop selecting the old. Each pause weakens the gravity of your former self, like a pendulum losing momentum until it comes to rest, allowing you to set a new direction. The law of collapse cannot be erased, only redirected, and the right to redirect it has always been yours. You can let it unfold unconsciously, or you can turn it into a ritual of awakening where every morning is no longer the start of repetition, but a sacred experiment where you choose who to become, what energy to emit, and what reality to observe into existence. Your body isn't just physical mass. It's a living archive of every chemical memory that has ever moved through your life. Every emotion, every fear, every joy, every disappointment has left an imprint in your biological structure. Cells don't forget. They record and reproduce the same chemical environment, so you continue feeling as you did yesterday. When you say, "I want to change," your mind may agree, but your body does not. It's not yet convinced. It still demands its familiar dose of hormones, the known waves of adrenaline, cortisol, dopamine. The body believes safety equals familiarity. So even if that pattern causes pain, it clings to it. Because to the body, familiar means survival. That's why after moments of motivation and determination, you return to old habits. Not because you're weak, because your biology hasn't updated yet. The nervous system operates like a well-rehearsed orchestra, each emotion a melody, and you've allowed the same song to play for years. Real change doesn't happen at the level of thought. It begins when the body starts hearing a new melody. But for it to listen, you must be patient enough to stay in the silence between the old sound fading and the new one beginning. That silence is the withdrawal phase, when your biology resists and demands its familiar feelings, like someone addicted to caffeine waking up needing their morning cup. You may feel empty, lost, restless without clear reason, uncertain where you're going. But in truth, you're in the zone of reconfiguration, where your cells are learning how to exist without depending on old compounds. When you stop feeding the chemicals of fear, doubt, and self-criticism, they begin making room for the compounds of peace and trust. This is biological retraining, and it cannot happen overnight. Science shows that when you sustain a new state long enough, your nervous system begins forming new pathways. Neurons reconnect, creating networks for new emotions. The prerequisite is that you must stay through the discomfort of transformation without running when your body resists. Discomfort isn't a sign of failure. It's proof that the system is leaving its comfort zone. Observe what arises during this period. Faster heartbeat, shorter breath, thoughts urging you to give up. All are echoes of old patterns calling you back. When you face them without reacting, the body learns that safety can exist even without those chemicals. You're teaching your biology to be calm in uncertainty. And that's where true freedom begins. Most people never pass through this doorway because they mistake discomfort for failure, not knowing it's the very expression of transformation. They return to old patterns to regain a familiar feeling and call it stability, when it's only repetition. To break the loop, you must give your body a new experience repeated enough times that it recognizes it as home. And the simplest way to do that is through breath. When you breathe deeply, steadily, and consciously, you send signals to the nervous system that there's no threat. The body lowers its alert. Hormones change, and a door opens for a new state to enter. The body responds faster than the mind. So don't try to think positively while breathing like someone afraid. Begin by breathing like someone peaceful, and the mind will follow naturally. See each day as a practice session, each uncomfortable emotion as a chance to reset. No need to analyze the past, just stay present. Observe your biological response and adjust your breath. Do this long enough and chemical memory begins to shift. One day you'll realize that emotions which once controlled you have lost their power because they no longer have the environment to survive. This isn't mysticism. It's biophysics. Your cells communicate through electrical and chemical signals, constantly recording data from the energetic field you emit. What you call emotion is simply the translation of that current. If you maintain the frequency of fear, your cells align with the code of fear. If you maintain the frequency of peace, they replicate peace, not through blind belief, through new molecular structure. The body has its own intelligence, and it's always listening to the signals you send. When you start speaking to it through the language of breath, movement, rest, and gratitude, it understands that the program has changed, and it begins to restructure itself. You don't have to believe it. You only have to practice it. After about 3 weeks, most biological cycles begin to reorganize, and you'll feel lightness arise, not because the external world has changed, but because you've stopped reacting the same way. This is the beginning of energetic autonomy, where you're no longer pulled by chemical impulses, but use them as fuel for creation. When you understand the body, you stop blaming it for holding you back. You thank it for protecting you. And then you walk with it into the new. From this point forward, transformation is no longer a battle between will and instinct, but a reconciliation between two parts of one system. The body learns to trust you, and you learn to listen to it. Every breath, every heartbeat becomes a reminder that you and it are one, co-creating this reality. Once your biology updates, change becomes natural. Like water heating until it boils, you no longer need to force it because everything happens according to law. You only need to maintain consistency and keep your awareness wider than your reaction. This is the biology of freedom, where the body is no longer a prison but a quantum instrument serving consciousness. When you understand that every cell is an observing particle, every thought a command, you begin treating yourself with new respect, without force, without judgment, but with guidance, because you know your body is listening and responding in every moment. Let this journey be the harmony of science and meditation, of logic and sensation, of mind and heart. Then, instead of trying to escape yourself, you become the gentle conductor of a biological orchestra resonating with a new frequency, and the sound you emit becomes the rhythm of an entirely new reality. When you observe an electron, it instantly chooses a position. But when no one observes it, it exists everywhere simultaneously. That phenomenon isn't just physics, it's the nature of existence itself. The way you look at the world is the way the world becomes. When you observe yourself through the lens of lack, you collapse into a reality of scarcity. When you see yourself through the frequency of abundance, you collapse into a reality of expansion. Observation is never a neutral act. It's always a command to the universe. Every thought, every glance, every emotion you choose is a measurement that determines the state you're forming. That's why two people can live in the same circumstance, yet experience two completely different worlds. One sees opportunity, the other sees limitation, because they're observing through two distinct frequencies. You don't see reality as it is. You see reality as you are. The human eye doesn't simply record images. It converts light into electrical signals and sends them to the brain. And the brain interprets those signals through memory, belief, and old patterns. Every time you look, you're not only receiving information, you're projecting your old information onto the scene. Reality isn't a mirror reflecting you. It's a screen displaying the image you're broadcasting. Once you understand this, you begin recognizing the power of consciousness. Observation is creation. You don't wait to see in order to believe. You believe in order to see. When you believe you're safe, your brain sends harmonizing signals. Your body relaxes, hormones stabilize, and the world around you begins responding with matching situations. When you believe everything is against you, your heart contracts, your breath quickens, your energy field emits alarm signals, and you attract experiences that confirm that belief. You become living proof of your own observation. This isn't naive positivity. It's the physical mechanism of consciousness. Many think observing is passive, but in the quantum universe, observation is the process of selecting which possibility becomes real. Each time you think about yourself, you're conducting a double-slit experiment in your life. You can see yourself as a particle, isolated, limited by space and time, or as a wave, expansive, connected, without borders. The way you choose to see determines how energy arranges itself around you. Notice how some people enter a room and the air feels lighter, because they emit an open field of observation. They see potential in everyone, and that gaze makes others rise. Others make the room feel heavy because they observe through skepticism, and their field suppresses brighter possibilities from unfolding. You cannot hide the frequency you emit, because observation happens not only through your eyes, but through your entire electromagnetic field. The heart generates waves thousands of times stronger than the brain, and emotion is the most powerful form of observation. When you observe something with love, you give it life. When you observe it with fear, you drain its energy. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to the feeling encoded in each look and thought. You can say, "I am peaceful," But if your inner energy is contracted, the universe only hears contraction. So to change reality, you don't begin with action. You begin with perception. Because every action is born from a way of seeing. When you observe yourself through the past, you confine the future to the boundaries of what's known. When you observe yourself through potential, you open the door to what has never been. That's the difference between one who lives in memory and one who lives in possibility. One reacts, the other creates. Each time you view yourself through fear, you rewrite the story using the old script. And since the body is familiar with that emotion, it performs the scene perfectly. But if you're aware enough to notice that moment, to whisper inwardly, "I can see differently. I can find opportunity here," then instantly your brainwaves shift. Your chemistry reorganizes, and your entire reality begins to rearrange. That's the moment you move from being illuminated to being the one holding the light. Once you understand that observation is creative, you become responsible for every thought. Because each thought is a measurement, each emotion a command of collapse, and you're constantly choosing which possibility will exist. You cannot stop observing, but you can choose how you observe. You can see the world as a battlefield, or as a laboratory for the soul. You can see others as threats, or as mirrors reflecting the parts of you that seek understanding. And if this understanding of frequency and observation is opening something within you, I want you to know that what we're exploring today is just the beginning. In my book, Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, I walk you through the complete system of conscious broadcasting, from breaking free from survival static to embodying the master frequencies that transform you from seeker to being itself. It's linked in the pinned comment below. When your perspective changes, energy shifts and outcomes transform. Those who observe consciously don't run from negativity. They understand that negativity is simply a limited state of awareness. And as awareness expands, it naturally dissolves. Observation is the art of silence. When you refrain from labeling, from concluding, from judging, you keep the wave uncollapsed. And in that superposition, infinite possibilities coexist. You don't force the world to be what you want. You open space for the world to reveal itself through a higher frequency. That's why in meditation they say, just observe, don't interfere. Because when you truly observe, you allow what is being seen to evolve. And that alone changes the outcome. Your power doesn't lie in control, but in aware presence. When you look without fear, greed, or resistance, you return to the role of the pure observer. And the pure observer is the starting point of pure creation. Reality cannot resist a gaze free of control. It must adjust itself to match the frequency of peace. Remember, the universe doesn't hear prayers with ears. It reads frequencies through observation. If you pray from a state of lack, you send the frequency of lack. If you give thanks as if you already have, you send the frequency of abundance. Observation is the silent prayer of consciousness. And every day you're praying thousands of times through the way you look at yourself, at others, at life. So instead of saying, I want to change, begin by seeing differently. Try observing yourself as someone blooming, not someone fixing. Try seeing the world as an intelligent network responding to each beat of your heart. And you'll find that miracles are no longer rare, but the natural result of a new way of seeing. Then everything changes, not only in your eyes, but in the fabric of reality itself. Because your consciousness has just issued a new command of collapse. and the universe immediately obeys. When you begin choosing differently, the body doesn't quietly agree. It reacts. It has lived by the same emotional formula for years and believes that is what life is. So when you stop supplying it with familiar chemicals, it thinks it's under threat. The restlessness, anxiety, and discomfort that arise when you start to change aren't signs of failure. They're proof that you're stepping out of the old chemistry. Like someone addicted to caffeine in the first days without it, you may feel foggy, your head may ache, your mood may swing, because your biological system is experiencing temporary withdrawal from the compounds it has depended on. Your body is asking, what is happening? Where are the usual hormones of fear, worry, and tension? If you don't understand this, you'll mistake the discomfort for a wrong path and rush back to the old self just to feel safe again. But comfort doesn't always mean right, and unease doesn't always mean wrong. True biological change always comes with trembling, not as punishment, but as restructuring. Every cell, every neural connection, every chemical reaction is learning how to exist without fear as its fuel. You may find yourself suddenly tired or unusually silent, losing interest in what once excited you, unwilling to maintain heavy conversations, and that's a good sign. When the body is no longer fed by drama and adrenaline, it needs time to learn to live on peaceful energy, a lighter but far more sustainable fuel. Most people stop here because they cannot stand the emptiness. They think stillness means losing drive, when in fact it is the still charge before the system restarts. When an old energy pattern dissolves, there's a space between two frequencies. And in that space, the mind panics because it has nothing to cling to. If you stay patient and don't run back to the old habits, you'll realize you're being recreated. Many neuroscientists call this the phase of synaptic rewiring. Neurons that once connected along old paths begin to separate, creating space for new circuits to form. And it's this temporary disorder that makes you feel strange. In truth, if you can pass through a few weeks, you'll see your body begin to adapt to the new state. Your endocrine glands recalibrate, your heartbeat steadies, your breath deepens, your reactions slow, and you begin to feel a stability you never knew existed. This is the stability of higher frequency, where energy flows naturally without strong stimulation. To help your body move through this stage, you need two things: awareness and kindness. Awareness helps you see that the reactions aren't enemies, but the language of biology, signals that you're nearing a quantum leap. Kindness allows you to nurture this process gently, without force or judgment. Whenever your body trembles, breathe deeply. Place your hand on your chest and whisper, "I am safe. I am learning a new way to live." When you send this message, the parasympathetic nervous system activates, stress hormones drop, and the restructuring flows more smoothly. Don't think talking to your body is meaningless. Science has proven that cells respond to sound frequency and intention. When you speak softly with compassion, those sound waves travel through the water in your tissues, creating healing vibrations. Transformation then stops being a battle and becomes a collaboration. You and your body walk together through the withdrawal from the old, establishing a new emotional system. This process often takes about 30 days. The first 10 are withdrawal, the next 10 are reconstruction, the last 10 are integration. If you stay conscious through this period, your body will begin treating peace as its new baseline. It will no longer seek intense emotions to feel alive, but balance to feel real. then everything inside you begins to soften. And that's when energy becomes transparent. When energy is clear, you no longer need to try to manifest. You don't have to visualize or force attraction, because that steady state itself is the magnetic field of creation. The field of peace draws matching experiences, quiet yet precise. You no longer need to prove, affirm, or beg, because your entire biology has become a living prayer. You're transmitting the signal that you've returned to center, no longer fighting life, but moving in harmony with it. When the body reaches this new state, you'll notice that what once scared you loses its power. Situations that used to trigger you now pass like a gentle breeze, and you realize control is no longer something you chase, because you have become the natural state of control. When consciousness and biology align, you don't need effort to become different, because you already are. That's the moment your energy reaches full coherence. Every cell vibrates in harmony. The heart and brain synchronize. Emotions flow clearly, and miracles begin to appear. Not because someone grants them, but because your system is ready to receive. Change is no longer theory. It has become biological architecture. Looking back, you'll see nothing outside has really changed except how your body responds. Everything remains the same. You are no longer the same one meeting it. And that is the true definition of freedom. You don't need to escape the world. You only need to stop reacting the old way. Your body becomes your ally, no longer pulling you to the past, but walking with you into the future. Every cell within you becomes a witness of awakening, and every breath an affirmation that you have stepped beyond programming. When transformation reaches this stage, you no longer seek change. You are change. Every reaction, every feeling is evidence of a silent biological revolution unfolding within you. And once you understand that, you'll never fear any tremor again. Because you know each resistance of the body is simply another lesson in expansion. Another step toward living fully in the frequency your soul has already chosen. Morning is the first doorway between the world of potential and the world of form, between the infinite and the defined. The moment you awaken, before memory returns and identity takes shape, you're resting in the purest field of quantum superposition, where every possibility exists at once, waiting to be chosen. Yet most people lose that sacred window within seconds. They reach for their phone, recall their name, their duties, their unresolved problems, and instantly collapse back into yesterday's version of themselves, repeating the same frequency, the same chemistry, the same sequence of reactions. If you wish to change reality, start from the point where reality begins, the moment before you remember who you are. When your eyes are still closed and awareness is just returning, pause inside that silence. Don't think. Don't remember. Don't define. Simply feel the breath moving through. You feel life rising within, as if you're witnessing a new universe being born. This is the moment when you have the right to choose the version you will collapse into. You can choose the old self, the one tied to worry and control, or the new one guided by peace and clarity. This choice isn't made with words, but with sensation. Let the body be the instrument of observation, for the body remembers emotion faster than the mind. When you sense the highest version of yourself, don't try to draw it in detail. Just feel its energy, how it breathes, how its shoulders relax, how its eyes meet the world. Whether its heartbeat feels calm, then align yourself with that rhythm. Breathe as that version would. Sit up as that version would. Step onto the floor as that version would. Each small act performed with awareness sends a new signal through the nervous system, and that signal determines the frequency you emit for the day. When the body receives the command that this is the new state, it begins to adjust. Hormones, heart rate, biological responses, slowly making it the default setting. By repeating this each morning, you're training your body to become the new self before the mind pulls you back into the past. This is the art of conscious collapse. You're not changing the world. You're changing the observer of the world, and the world automatically reflects that change. Throughout the day, you'll have endless chances to practice. When someone says something that stirs irritation, that's a moment of collapse. You can fall into the old reaction, or you can pause, breathe deeply, and ask silently, how would my most aligned self respond? When you face challenges, when you feel triggered, when you're close to giving up, each is a test of whether you're truly choosing or letting the body choose for you. The difference between the conscious and the unconscious isn't that one has no problems, but that one notices the moment of collapse. The conscious person watches themselves collapsing and chooses again. The unconscious simply reacts. The more often you choose again, the more your nervous system adjusts to the new frequency, until eventually collapsing into the higher version becomes automatic. That's the state science calls neural coherence, when every organ in the body resonates together. Energy flows effortlessly, and reality responds instantly to your state of consciousness. But to reach this point, you must train sensitivity of awareness. Observe yourself in small moments. When opening your phone, standing before the mirror, driving, speaking, each action is a leading. Back to the old or forward to the new. Ask yourself, who is doing this? The anxious one or the clear one? The rushed one or the calm one? That question is the blade that cuts through unconscious reaction. The moment you ask, you are awake. And when you are awake, you can choose. Gradually, you'll see that conscious collapse requires no ritual, only presence. You don't need a meditation room or special time. You only need to be present in what is happening now. A deep breath, a hand on your chest, a gentle smile. These are enough to remind the body you're choosing a new frequency. These small acts act as activation signals in the brain, prompting the nervous system to recalibrate. The more you practice, the faster the shift occurs, until it becomes natural reflex. When you master conscious collapse, everything in life changes. Instead of being pulled into the emotions of others, you become the keeper of rhythm. Instead of being shaped by circumstances, you become the one shaping them. Because when you master the moment of collapse, you master the origin of every outcome. Life doesn't need you to control it. It only asks you to choose who will experience it. And when the one you choose is the clear, luminous version, the situations that come will match that energy. Lighter, more precise, more instructive. This isn't magic. It's the natural result of quantum synchronization. Try this for 7 days. Each morning as awareness returns, don't let the mind speak first. Feel your breath, then smile, not for a reason, but because you're standing in the moment of choice. Choose the feeling of freedom, peace, and clarity. When you open your eyes, let the first light touch you as the universe greeting your new version. Step out of bed slowly, inhale deeply, and whisper within, Today, I choose awareness. In that simple act, you send a signal through your entire energy field that the collapse will occur on a new frequency. As the day unfolds, repeat this whenever your energy dips. Each repetition redirects your flow, and gradually the outer world begins to reflect that inner consistency. This is the power of conscious collapse, a power that arises not from control, but from awakened choice. When you realize you're never obligated to be the person you were yesterday, you are truly free. Every morning is a rebirth, every moment a point of choice, and you are the observer constantly deciding which universe will appear. Living this way, you no longer strive to become. You simply choose. Choose through feeling, through presence, through breath, and in each choice you're creating your entire reality, quietly, precisely, effortlessly, just as every quantum particle has always done. And here's something most people never realize. When you begin shifting your own frequency, the world around you shifts too. Not because you force it to, but because all of reality is a mirror reflecting the vibration you're emitting. Energy cannot lie. It always responds with perfect honesty. If you live in peace, your surroundings begin to quiet. If you emit clarity, the confused will drift away and those aligned will appear. This isn't magic. It's resonance. The natural law that frequencies alike attract and amplify each other. When you consciously collapse into a higher version of yourself, you're not only transforming within, you're sending ripples across the collective field. The human body radiates a measurable electromagnetic field, with the heart as its strongest center, extending several meters outward, transmitting emotional information to every living being nearby. When you enter a room, before you speak, your energy has already spoken. Everyone feels it, even if they don't consciously realize it. When you're calm, people feel at ease. When you're tense, they feel the weight. When you're fully present, they too begin to arrive in the moment. This is how you influence the world without effort. Your transformation creates waves that reach those vibrating near your frequency. Some will feel uplifted, others uncomfortable, because light always exposes shadow. But don't fear distance. It's simply the process of frequency filtering. As you rise, the universe automatically rearranges the network around you, keeping those in resonance and releasing what no longer matches. It may feel like loss, but it is liberation. You're not losing anyone. You're becoming clear enough to see who truly belongs in your new orbit. Every person in your life is a reflection of the energy you broadcast. When you change, the reflection changes. You don't need to persuade anyone or prove anything. Only maintain your vibration. When you live in peace, others will either rise with you or step away, and both are blessings. The universe never takes, it only rebalances. The fascinating part is that when you sustain a high frequency, your influence extends beyond physical proximity to those you may never meet. Because energy is non-local, unlimited by space. A loving thought from you can soothe a heart across the world. One moment of choosing peace over anger sends a message through the collective field that someone has chosen light over shadow. This is how personal awareness contributes to collective evolution. Scientists call this morphic resonance, an invisible connection between similar systems. Where once one reaches a new frequency, it becomes easier for others to reach it too. When one person learns to move through fear, the vibration opens the path for hundreds more, because the frequency already exists. Each time you choose awareness, you're choosing not only for yourself, but for humanity. Each time you choose forgiveness over resistance, you're rewriting the data in the collective field, making forgiveness easier for everyone. That's why those who truly live in peace don't need to teach. Their presence teaches. When they walk into a space, the energy reorganizes, tension softens, heartbeats steady, breaths deepen. They don't speak of love. They are love revealed. You can become that presence too. When your energy remains consistent, you become an anchor in a world of motion. People around you feel safer, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. Your presence becomes a quiet lamp, reminding others of their own light. No theories, no words, just presence. That is the greatest impact a human being can make. Once you understand this, you stop seeing transformation as personal, because every breath you take transmits information to the biological network of the planet. When you inhale and exhale consciously, you help the system of life recalibrate. When you choose love, that wave travels through space, crossing languages and borders, touching thousands of hearts vibrating the same. Every small action ripples outward. Even silence carries a message. In silence, you declare that power doesn't need noise. The world begins to respond accordingly. Opportunities appear, new connections unfold. Doors once closed quietly open, because your energy now matches the frequency of expansion. This is how life responds to your new state, not through rewards, but through perfect refinement of events, people, and moments. Look closely, and you'll see everything happens for one purpose: to maintain resonance. If something pulls you out of peace, it's not an error, but a reminder to return to center. The collective field doesn't need you perfect, only authentic. Each time you fall, just return. Each time you forget, just remember. Every time you choose light, the frequency of humanity rises a little higher. You're never alone in this journey, because the universe isn't a web of separations, but an ocean of unified energy. When one drop rises, the whole surface lifts. Each choice you make is a wave in that ocean. And when you choose through love, you make the world a little less dark, a little less afraid, a little less divided. So never underestimate the quiet changes within you, for they're generating vast movements in the cosmos. When you hold peace in chaos, you bring order to the storm. When you live at a high frequency, you not only heal yourself, you help the world remember how to vibrate in light. That is the true meaning of awakening. Not to escape life, but to illuminate it from within, so that each moment of your existence becomes an invitation for other souls to return home to themselves. And I want to pause here for a moment, because if what you're hearing is resonating with something deep inside you, if these words are touching a part of you that's been waiting to wake up, then take a moment right now and comment below with this phrase: I choose awareness. Not as a casual interaction, but as an energetic declaration, a signal to the field that you're consciously interrupting the loop, that you're stepping into your power as the observer. Type those 3 words: I choose awareness. Let that be your first conscious collapse of the day, your first intentional choice to step out of momentum and into presence. Now here's what most people don't realize about freedom. True freedom doesn't come when you find a perfect version of yourself, but when you realize you can be every version and move between them as naturally as breathing. You were not born to be confined to one role, whether that role is strength, success, or serenity. You were born to experience the fluidity of existence, to know that you can be the warrior when needed, the healer when called, the creator when inspired, and the still one when the world grows loud. In the state of superposition, you can access all of these versions without leaving your essence, because your essence isn't a shape, but an energy capable of transformation. When you understand this, you stop trying to fix yourself. Stop aiming to become someone forever. Because true perfection lies in adaptability. The one who is flexible doesn't lose their center. They simply allow energy to flow through without getting trapped in old forms. Just as water can become river, rain, mist, or snow and still remain water, you too can become any expression of yourself without losing your core. This is the highest level of freedom, where you're no longer imprisoned by the idea of who you are, but live as a current of energy, constantly reborn. When you live in this state, the world no longer frightens you, because you no longer need to protect a fixed identity. You can adapt without betrayal, respond without losing integrity. Every encounter in life becomes a doorway to discover another layer of your being. When someone hurts you, you see not just the pain, but your capacity to open. When challenge arrives, you see not only fear, but the courage awakening. When joy comes, you feel not only pleasure, but gratitude vibrating through every cell. This is the state of one who lives in superposition, who no longer chooses between light and dark, good and bad, but integrates both, knowing that only through acknowledging all can one be truly free. You cannot choose light without walking through shadow, cannot choose faith without knowing doubt. Every part of you, even the weakest, is a portal to wholeness. Instead of fighting your opposites, learn to invite them to coexist. When you embrace yourself completely, energy begins to flow, and that flow releases your quantum power. At this level, your body becomes like superfluid in physics, where energy moves without friction. Everything happens lightly, swiftly, precisely. You don't strive, you allow. In physics, they call it superflow. In consciousness, it is awakening. You move through life like wind, unbound by form, unattached to story. Simply the expression of awareness in motion. When you reach this state, there is no right or wrong, only alignment with the frequency of the moment. There are times to speak. You speak. Times to be silent. You are silent. Times to leave. You leave. Times to stay. You stay. You're no longer driven by reaction, but guided by the highest energy available in each instant. And the wonder of it is that when you live this way, life becomes so synchronized that you no longer need detailed plans. Everything arrives in perfect timing, through the right people, in the right way. You have become the invisible conductor of reality, not through effort, but through perfect resonance between you and the universe. In this state, what once caused worry becomes a small ripple on the surface, for you are no longer affected. You are the observer and the shaper. You no longer beg for peace. You are the peace radiating. You no longer search for purpose. You are purpose embodied. Every action becomes sacred, not because it is grand, but because it is done with complete awareness. When you drink water, you feel the current nourishing your body. When you walk, you feel the earth lifting each step. When you look at another, you see yourself reflected in their eyes. Everything becomes an expression of connection. This is the sign that you're beginning to live as a quantum being, one who knows there is no real boundary between self and world. Everything is simply a different configuration of the same energy. You no longer seek to possess, because nothing truly belongs to anyone. You no longer fear loss, because nothing can leave the energy from which it was born. Living with this awareness, you enter the natural flow where everything happens without resistance. And the most profound truth is that within this flow, you don't become lost. You become clearer than ever, because you no longer see through concept, but see everything as it is. One who reaches this state no longer asks, "Who am I?" For they know the question doesn't need answering. It only needs to be lived. They no longer strive to impress, for their presence is impression enough. They no longer search for worth, for they have become worth itself. They move through life like a song, not one composed, but the song of existence itself. And in that sound, others feel free, because they witness someone who has ended the war within. And if this vision of life, this frequency, this space of conscious creation is calling to you, then I invite you to subscribe. Not just to this channel, but to this frequency, to this movement of awakened observers who are choosing differently, who are collapsing into higher versions, who are walking as the change they wish to see. Subscribe to stay in this conversation, to stay in this field, to stay connected to the community of those who are remembering their power. When you reach this point, you no longer need to prove you're awake, for your stillness speaks. People feel safe in your presence, because your field has become sanctuary. You don't try to influence, but you do. You don't try to love, but you are love. You don't seek the light, but you are the light. This is the summit of the superpositional journey, when you not only know that all possibilities exist, but live them fluidly, softly, without strain or opposition. You're no longer the one searching for the path. You have become the path itself, and each step you take opens another universe of awareness. So let me ask you this, as we come to the end of this conversation, who will you choose to be tomorrow morning, when awareness first returns, when your eyes are still closed, when identity hasn't yet formed? Will you reach for the phone and collapse into yesterday? Or will you pause, breathe, and choose the version that's been waiting? Consider watching this tomorrow morning before you open your eyes, letting these principles guide your first conscious collapse of the day. And if you know someone who's stuck in their old patterns, share this with them. When you transmit these quantum concepts to another, you strengthen your own understanding and create an energetic ripple that accelerates both of your transformations. The old self is already beginning to collapse. Not because I'm telling you it is, but because you've observed yourself differently just by being here, by listening, by opening to the possibility that you're more than one fixed state. That quantum collapse has already happened. The question now is, will you sustain it? Will you practice conscious collapse tomorrow morning? Will you choose awareness when someone triggers you? Will you breathe into the pause before reacting? Will you teach your body that peace is safe? That openness doesn't mean vulnerability? That calm doesn't mean giving up? Because transformation isn't one big moment. It's thousands of micro moments. Each one a choice. Each one a collapse. Each one an opportunity to step into a higher version or slide back into the known. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to choose more often than you forget. And when you forget, you simply choose again. That's the practice. That's the path. That's the quantum leap everyone is searching for. Not out there in some distant achievement, but right here, in the gap between stimulus and response, in the pause before reaction, in the breath that changes everything. Before you go, I want you to do something. Drop one word in the comments. Just one word that captures the energy, the intention, the transformation you're choosing moving forward. Not a word that describes where you've been, but a word that declares where you're going. Let that word be your energetic signature to the quantum field, your declaration of the frequency you're now embodying. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent, to stay aligned, to stay elevated. Because the more of us who embody this understanding, the more the world reflects that truth. We're not just individuals changing our own lives. We're a collective field raising the frequency of consciousness itself. Your choice to step into your higher self creates permission for countless others to do the same. This is how we change the world. Not by fighting what's wrong, but by embodying what's right. Not by resisting the old, but by becoming the new. Not by waiting for conditions to shift, but by shifting the observer of conditions. You are standing at the doorway. The old self behind you, the higher self in front of you, and in between this moment, this choice, this breath. Step through, collapse into the version that's been waiting, and watch as reality reorganizes itself around the new frequency you're transmitting. The moment you started watching this, your old self began to collapse. Now it's time to let it. To release your grip on who you were and step fully into who you're becoming. Not someday, not when you're ready. Now, in this moment, with this breath. Choose awareness, choose presence, choose the higher self, and watch as everything changes. Not because the world shifts, but because you have, and that's all it ever took. Thank you for being here, for choosing this frequency, for stepping into your power as the conscious observer, the awakened chooser, the quantum being you've always been. Go create your reality, one choice at a time, one breath at a time, one conscious collapse at a time. The universe is watching, and it's ready to reflect back the version you choose. Now, understanding how to consciously collapse into your higher self is only part of the equation. What happens when you reach the point where you're no longer collapsing into any version, but instead realize you are the field itself, creating all versions? In my video, The Final Phase of Awakening, when you realize you are the field, I reveal what happens when observation transcends into pure being, when you stop being the one choosing frequencies and become the frequency choosing itself. This is the natural evolution of everything we've discussed today.